Our next guest certainly knows a lot about him, more than we do. Played for the Chargers, lineman back in the day. His name is Rich Ohrnberger, and Rich also is part of the Mark and Rich show down there in San Diego, XTRA 1360 Fox Sports. And he's with us. What's happening there, big boy? How are you, Rich?
How's it going, guys? Glad to be on with you this morning.
No doubt. By the way, you're, as an aside, you work with my man Kyle, right? Kyle Engelhart?
Yeah, he's the executive producer over at Extra 1360, yeah.
I know. So he texted me yesterday. He said, my show is good except for this guy, Rich Ohrnberger, who's weighing it down. Just kidding. Hey, listen, Rich, it's from the outside looking in. There's nothing seemingly positive about the Bolts right now. Where they're going to be next season, the whole Bosa mess, McCoy's job status. I mean, is there anything optimistic besides Phillip Rivers right now? What are we missing?
Yeah. It's not looking great this very minute, but they're rolling off of this second preseason game win against Arizona Cardinals, where from a ones-on-one standpoint, they looked great. Huge improvement from their first game with the Tennessee Titans. Held some of the best running backs in the NFL doing it right now to only 63 yards rushing. So definitely a sound performance in preseason game number 2, but with the Bosa fiasco, and they just found out yesterday that they won't have Damian Square available to them for the first 4 games, adding depth to their defensive line due to a missed drug test. It's been kind of a dark cloud hanging over the city of San Diego for the past couple days.
You're only a couple years removed from that very locker room that we're talking about. How are they going to react and respond to Joey Bosa?
I think the same way the fans will react. They'll welcome him in. Obviously, contract negotiations with the Chargers historically have never been as smoothly as with other teams. So this is kind of the normal parlance with the Chargers, and like many other players in that locker room, they had to go through it too. So they'll be welcoming of him. And I said it yesterday on the show. You know what negates all of these ugly negotiations is great performance. So if Joey Bosa goes out there and has any sort of a rookie season that people are expecting from a 3rd overall pick, then I think all is forgiven.
Yeah, I think you're right. Once you just go out and start playing, then things kind of clarify. They bring in Travis Benjamin this offseason. Now, we saw him in Cleveland where there wasn't a ton. You put him with a quarterback like Phillip Rivers. How is there an excitement about this offense, and especially when we think about Phillip Rivers' window potentially closing as he gets up there a little bit in age?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have an older quarterback, you have to be careful, especially with a commodity like Phillip Rivers. There's only a scattering of quarterbacks like him in the league right now. Bringing in Travis Benjamin, I think, is great, not only from a offensive standpoint, but special teams. So far this preseason, they've had some pretty limited action together. Obviously, he joined the team, and they were trying to get him in there and see where he fits. But it seemed as they practice together a little more and maybe get them together going in this preseason game number 3 where the ones will play deeper into the game, the timing and the magic between a quarterback and a receiver will be there. I think it's great, though, because there were some voids at receiver, and it seems like they filled in the gaps this offseason in free agency.
We're talking to Rich Ohrnberger. Rich down at San Diego does a show out there, Mark and Rich, and he is on XTRA 1360 Fox Sports. He's with us here on Tiki Tierney, CBS Sports Radio. What in the world happened to Melvin Gordon? No touchdowns, a paltry yard per carry average, microfracture surgery. I mean, is he done? What's the story?
Yeah, that was another story leading into the offseason that wasn't looking too good either. Yeah, very poor first year by their first-round draft pick from last year. Melvin Gordon came out of University of Wisconsin. You figured he was just going to be their bell cow all season, and he really did not produce. And I give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a rookie. He was thrown into a situation where the expectations were extremely high. But year 2, you need to see the sort of stalwart performance out of a first-round draft pick. So far this preseason, he's picked it up. Game 1, he had a huge reception against the Tennessee Titans where he caught a it just looked like a quick a quick man route in the middle there and scampered off for about 42 yards and finished well into the end zone. So getting in the end zone, I think, is very important for him this season, obviously. A big back like him, he should not have any problem. But he needs to gain a lot of momentum coming into preseason game number 3. I think that'll bolster his confidence. Last year was unacceptable. Year 2 better be a lot better.
Is there an angst amongst the fan base in San Diego about this team leaving?
There is. Oh, there is. The fans around San Diego, when the stadium issue comes up, there is some angst. Nobody's really sure what's going to happen. There's a ballot measure that was added to the ticket from the November vote, and the Chargers are pushing the campaign hard. Vote yes on C, and that's to get a downtown stadium approved. Now, that's an uphill battle. They need 2/3 of the vote, so 66% of the citizenship in San Diego have to agree that this is a good idea for the city. I don't know about you guys, but I can't even get a 66% vote in my own house. So I have
tricky.
no idea
it's
how
a tough
this is
vote.
going to unfold.
Oh, man. That does not sound, I got to tell you, depressing. I mean, we almost forgot about Melvin Gordon. I mean, really, like,
because of everything else going on. You're right.
With Bosa and even McCoy, who was almost fired last year, and Rivers isn't a kid, and the stadium issues, the 3-win season. But hey, you never know. Maybe you'll surprise some people this year, Rich.
Any given Sunday.
That's right.
Sunday, right.
That is the mantra. Rich, good chat, man. Tell my man Kyle I said what's up. Tell him I miss him.
You got it, Brandon. Thanks, Tiki.